let's talk about Boruto Naruto Next Generations, okay? I just finished watching episode 3, and it was a very good episode. There was a few things that basically made us self-aware of the plot and a lot of development and all that good stuff. Now, I'm going to start out with the very beginning. We get a very clear silhouette of what the creature might be, and it looks almost like a chimera. If you guys haven't seen like what a chimera looks like in pictures and whatnot, obviously it's not a fucking real creature, but it's more like a big cat with like a snake for a tail, and that's exactly what I saw on that silhouette. That's the one picture that came into mind when I saw that silhouette. So I'm assuming by them showing this, they're giving you the idea that they're getting closer. Closer to figuring out what might be controlling these students, and then what might be end up happening to that creature, right? So here's the thing: we do get a new character introduced here, Meadow Lee. We did see him in the past episode, but here we actually got to know him. We actually got to know his both his skills and his shortcomings. All right. So the one thing with Meadow Lee that's different than Rock Lee is that, for obviously he looks just like Rock Lee, but he doesn't act like Rock Lee. For example, whenever he has even the smallest bit of attention, he becomes hyper aware of it, and it makes him self-conscious, which then causes him to mess up, and in huge ways. Because if you guys watch the episode, you know what I'm talking about. But with that being said, it makes me think, like, are they doing this specifically to this character to give him some character development? Because easily by him having this big thing with being nervous around people whenever he wants to act on his power or whatnot, I feel that they're opening a window for him. Like, okay, if you get over this, it'll be character development. It'll actually make him a better character for the show, and in turn the show becomes better because it has more interesting characters. All right, so I'm assuming that that's what it is. They're just trying to use this as character development later down the line, because at the end of the day, right, the best way to deal with things like that is by giving them handicaps that they gotta overcome. Now, we then move on to Chikadai. All right, we do get a little bit of Chikadai in his home here. We see Tamari, we see Chikamaru, and from what it seems like, Chikadai reflects a lot on things he said to Meadow Lee, because Chikadai did become aware of the one big issue that's kind of holding back Meadow Lee. The only thing is that he told Meadow Lee in front of Boruto and the others, very harshly, hey, I see that your big issue is that you get nervous around people whenever you want to do something. You become hyper aware of it, and it causes you to mess up. And Meadow Lee didn't even know people kind of figured that out, but it did make him kind of doubt himself from what it looked like. Meadow Lee just left the group, and he looked like he was sulking. And I got a big theory as to what this creature's specific criteria has to meet in order for him to, or it, to control others. Okay, and I feel like it's self-doubt. If you look at Denki wanted to be something besides a ninja, and his dad kept telling him, no, you have to be a ninja, and he didn't know whether he was going to end up being a ninja or something that he wanted to do. There was a lot of self-doubt within Denki, and then what happened was he got controlled, and he wanted to kill those kids that were kind of bullying him. With Meadow Lee, though, obviously you can assume that he became super self-aware and conscious about the fact that Chikadai called him out like that in front of everybody, and it caused him to maybe doubt himself a little bit. And in turn, the creature basically was allowed to control Meadow Lee. And the one thing that correlates with each other between Denki and Meadow Lee being controlled is that the moment they got controlled, they wanted to get back at whoever did them wrong, like the most recently anyways, right? Like if Denki was the bullies, and for Meadow Lee was Chikadai, Boruto, and Inogen, because they were the ones that were kind of hanging around at the time. And it makes you think, what's next? Who is gonna be next? Who's gonna be controlled next? And is it gonna be a bigger issue, or is it gonna get resolved quickly? To me, because they showed the silhouette, I'm starting to assume that this issue is gonna get resolved a lot quicker than I thought. And with that being said, it's gonna be kind of like a mini arc, right? It's just like a little thing to help Boruto be more aware of the fact that he has this eye power. Okay, and speaking of which, I started to think that Boruto for a quick second started getting control of the power, because the first time he saw Metal Lee, the eye power activates on its own, and he's like, oh my god, I see this aura, whatever, it's just like Denki. But then it goes back to normal. Then they go to this other side of the school to fight Rock Lee. Well, Metal Lee, I don't know why I said Rock Lee, obviously because they look alike. But Metal Lee started kind of fighting Chikadai, while Boruto and Inojin were just watching. And Boruto looks like, oh shit, there's something wrong. And then he kind of like squints, and then his eye power activates. And I'm like, oh shit, is he controlling the eye power now? Because that's what it seemed like. But it's just activating on its own. And you know that the show is very aware of what the viewers want to know, because it's only episode 3, and Boruto's already going to Hinata asking her about, you know, your family. Hey, well, like, what does the Byakugan do? And Hinata tells him straight up, okay, the Byakugan, you know, lets you see through objects. It lets you see long distances, and then obviously the big one, which is it lets you see chakra. And that's what really clicks with Boruto, the whole chakra thing, because every time it activates, he can see this like aura surrounding the person he's looking at. And it makes you think, okay, what does he have? Is it a mutation like people are saying? Is it a combination of the Byakugan with the Tenseigan? And it's weird to know, like, you can't really know for sure, because the eye looks completely different than anything we've seen before, and it's kind of hard. And then another thing that kind of made me, it kind of made me excited, to be honest. Boruto goes home and he says hi to Himawari. He obviously has like a really close relationship with her, and the first thing he starts doing is like staring at her. Like, I don't know if he was expecting to see something from Himawari, like the aura or whatever, or was he expecting to see if maybe Himawari might have the same thing that he has with the eye. But it was definitely something that to me seemed like foreshadowing or something like that, where he either is gonna try to get a hold of this power as soon as possible, or Himawari might end up, you know, with the same ability. Who knows? We don't really know anything for sure, because what we've seen in the manga is very little. What we've seen in the anime is very little. And you guys know that the anime is more of like an adaptation of the manga. Although, right now it's a little rocky, because the manga itself started out with the whole Boruto stuff. The whole Boruto movie stuff, I mean. And the anime started way before. Like, right now in the anime, they're just now getting to the academy. They're not even ninja yet. They're just now getting to the academy. And in the Boruto movie, Boruto is already doing missions and shit with Mitsuki and Sarada. So it makes you wonder what's gonna happen. You know, how are they gonna go about this? And another thing that people are wondering is if they're gonna recap the events of the Boruto movie in the anime. And that seems unavoidable. But how are they gonna go about it without even mentioning the eye or showing it beforehand? Obviously they're gonna hint at it with the Momoshiki stuff, like they did, like the re-edit they did with the manga and whatnot. But I'm talking about when the issue begins, when the actual fight start, when Momoshiki goes into the Leaf Village. Are they gonna showcase the eye in any way? Like, are they gonna show him activating at least once? Because it does raise the question of if this issue is gonna get resolved quickly, or if it's gonna be something that's for the long haul, right? For the entire show, for him to develop. Now, really quickly, I'm using too much time here. Metal Lee, I don't know if he was activating the third gate when he was fighting Chikadai and the others, because his actual body went red. So I was like, oh shit, he's about to open the gates. But to me, it looked like, you know, something that they do in anime to kind of show that this character is trying to force his way, like with brute force, he's trying to force his way out of something. I feel like that's what they were trying to showcase. They weren't trying to actually show him opening any kind of gates. But it would be so fucking dope if they did that. Now, for the very last thing, I really want to know is, why are they going about, you know, they're foreshadowing the whole issue that Boruto has with Naruto, where Naruto's not very attentive to his family. Fuck, even I felt bad because Naruto goes home in the episode. He gets home right when Hinata finishes dinner, and Himawari says, "Hey, hi, daddy," and this man just legit ignores the fuck out of it. Like, he doesn't even acknowledge the fact that she said that. Okay, he goes straight to bed, and Boruto gets upset because he's like, "Yo, you know, mom just made you dinner. You're just gonna go to bed. Fuck you." And you know, I have a hard time having to put my attention to that specific issue, simply because of the fact that I know that by the time the whole Boruto thing starts, everything's gonna change. Like, the whole dynamic with Boruto and Naruto is gonna change, right? So I really don't care about that, because I know it's gonna get resolved rather quickly, right? It's just gonna take Momoshiki fucking up the Leaf Village and shit, but still, they're gonna you know, make up and start becoming more friendly towards each other. But anyways, I'm gonna stop the video here. Let me know what you guys think about specifically Boruto's eye power. Do you think he's gonna be more aware of it and actually take control of it at some, not master it, but rather like he can activate it at will at some point in the next, I don't know, 10 episodes? Because it's episode 3 and it's already showing signs that he's gonna get a lot of knowledge into this eye power, and at least be able to, you know, activate it at will at some point in the near future. But anyways, I'm gonna be done. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'm out. Peace.